Donald Trump sat down with my old pal, Greg Kelly, formerly of Fox News and now at Newsmax. By the way, Greg Kelly was the very first person I ever shared an office with when I got to Fox News, the very first person. Then I moved next door in with Major Garrett, which was one of the most formative 2 years of my young career as a reporter. Major was hilarious. So anyway, Greg Kelly sits down with the former prez and asks him about vice presidential picks, and in particular, whether he's managed to rule anybody out, which is an interesting way in on this oft-covered subject. Watch this.
Vice President, are you any closer? Have you ruled anybody out?
Yeah, I probably have a couple of people that you may know very well. Some people that I didn't think behaved properly. Yeah, I think I've ruled some people out, but I've ruled a lot of people in. We have a lot of great people in the Republican Party, and they'll do a terrific job, I think. But certainly I have people that I wouldn't want as a vice president.
Is there a formal process underway right now?
No, it's a formal process. It's in my brain. It's like I look at the same people that everybody else is looking at. We've had some really great people. I think we have really great people that want it. People have expressed, I mean, not their interest. They've expressed, like, I would love to be vice president. Who wouldn't?
Okay. Now, what does he mean by he's ruled out some people who have behaved inappropriately?
Well, all I know is I could watch Donald Trump talk about his VP selection process in perpetuity for hours on it. You could make it like pay-per-view and I would subscribe, because what's so funny about his process, first of all, there is no like formal committee. I mean, he comes out and says it. It's not like we're vetting people. It's in my brain. And I believe that.
It's in my brain.
I think that's probably true. But the best part about this and we've talked about this a little bit on our show, Megyn, is that like what he wants to do is keep this kind of open and an ongoing discussion and basically make a tryout of a whole bunch. Like who can be better?
Like Celebrity Apprentice.
Yeah. Right. Like who can be the best asset that he could possibly have. And you can see him paint the other side of the picture is like he didn't think these other people behaved properly. Meaning, they were attacking him and whatnot.
Right.
So there's
okay, so that's my question. That's my question, Holmes. Does they didn't behave appropriately, do you think, we're trying to get into his mind, mean somebody who attacked him? Because I think he would have used a different word, like they turned out to be losers. I think he would have been stronger in his condemnation. And he might have even named them, right? So if they had actually slammed him.
I have a theory on this, Megyn. I'm really glad you brought it up. Obviously, Donald Trump doesn't like Republicans who criticize him. I think the thing he hates more, and he can smell it on you the moment you walk in the room, is he doesn't like desperation. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's what he's at there, where he's like, people who are a little too thirsty for the VP slot. And look, I mean, I think this process of selecting a vice president is the most like Donald Trump's previous life. This is a man who understands leverage. He has all of it right now. Right? And so why wouldn't you have a tryout and delay this process as long as possible? And I also sort of intuitively, he knows, like he has to tell people he's like Santa Claus. He sees if you're naughty or nice. Yeah. And he's watching. He's always watching.
Funny. Exactly. All right. Now I have my own theory. My theory is it could be a reference to a rising star in the Republican Party who had such heat and buzz around them that they were asked to deliver the response to the State of the Union.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And then bombed. Because you're right, Duncan. He can dismiss you if you stink of desperation. But the worst sin is to embarrass him, is to do anything that would reflect poorly on him. And if there's one thing you can say about Donald Trump above all is the man has an eye for television. I mean, he absolutely, that's how he really made his millions. I think he made more from Celebrity Apprentice and The Apprentice than he made in his real estate empire. I remember seeing something like that. And so I would submit to you, gentlemen, that when he saw this, we'll play a little bit of it, maybe he thought it was, quote, inappropriate for a future vice president. Watch.
I never could have imagined what my story would entail. To think about what the American dream can do across just one generation, in just one lifetime. It's truly breathtaking. But right now, the American dream has turned into a nightmare. Our country can do better. And you don't have to look any further than the crisis at our southern border to see it. President Biden inherited the most secure border of all time. He invited it with 94 executive actions in his first 100 days.
Okay. Zero chance he didn't realize what a train wreck that was. He praised her at a rally over the weekend like a classy guy. But there's zero chance he didn't see what the rest of us saw. So what do you think of my theory?
I just don't know that she's really a short list for that discussion, right?
She's dark horse, Holmes.
Maybe that to be the case. Incidentally, in a previous life, one of my jobs was to try to set up people to do the State of the Union response. And I mean set up quite literally, not like set up things. I mean, like, it's the worst job in the history.
Who do we hate?
Oh my God, it's so bad because there's never been a good one. I remember.
Did you pick Rubio? I hope you picked Rubio and sent him out to do that.
It was after.
Wait, Sarah Huckabee Sanders did a good job.
She did a good job.
The ones that did do the best job are the ones you don't remember at all, right?
Wow,
yeah Mitch Daniels.
Yeah, if you don't remember it at all, you're like, oh, they must have done okay.
It's like the Madden cover.
Right.
But like the Rubio drinking water, the one that I remember more than anything was Bobby Jindal walking into the foray. And
that was a disaster.
Everybody was like, oh no. I mean, you just knew everything afterwards was going to be a complete, because the optics of it, you go from this filled hall of applause and all the pomp and circumstance of the State of the Union, and then it's like a cold camera. You know?
That's why they shouldn't do it like that. They need somebody nimble. You know what they should have done? They should have gotten somebody like Byron Donalds to go out there and just not even have a script and be like, everything you just heard was bullshit, without using my colorful language. Like, that stuff about the border, he's responsible for that. You know, this stuff about the economy, those are lies. How do you feel his Inflation Reduction Act when you go to the grocery store? Like, somebody who's nimble and fast on their feet and a good talker, even like a Jim Jordan, I don't care, somebody who can fight live and respond real time.
Yeah.
Or I would recommend Mark Robinson, the governor candidate from North Carolina. As lieutenant governor, he's done a terrific job. You hand him a mic, he will destroy every left-wing narrative put in front of him. Yeah. And like the way that the media has been trying to do these like oppo
I
drops
love him.
on him, he's amazing.
Wait, he's the guy with the gender. Oh, yeah. I'm in love with him. That's terrific. The guy with the. I know he's getting hit for like all sort of politically incorrect positions on a number of issues, which is fine. Like you can't find a normal leader who doesn't have things that are going to upset the left on all their woke gods, right? But his rant on the transgender thing was circulated. All my friends were sending it to me. I love this guy.
He's the best. He's fantastic. And like, I think that's a really important characteristic, is because like Holmes said, you are not going to have, hundreds of your party members in the room with you clapping like seals. So you're going to have to bring that level of showmanship. And someone like Mark Robinson would have been perfect for that situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Smug, we have it. Hold on. We have it cut. Watch it for the audience who doesn't know who he is. Take a listen.
You can go to the doctor and get cut up. You can go down to the dress shop and get made up. You can go down there and get drugged up. But at the end of the day, you were just a drugged up, dressed up, made up, cut up, man or woman. You ain't changed what God put in you, that DNA.
He's
got my vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get him. Why? Honestly, like, but they went, look, obviously he would be a diverse choice too, but I think they went with Katie Britt because she's diverse. She's a woman. The GOP is struggling with women, and I don't know who's making these decisions, because I don't think they understand women at all. We don't want to see some kind of meek woman sitting in her kitchen acting overly dramatic. Those friends annoy us. We want somebody, maybe like give her a glass of wine and she can be like, sisters, let me tell you what the Democrats are doing to our children. This is fucked up. You need somebody who can talk directly to, like, who do they think Republican women are? It's not like Carolyn Ingalls sitting on the prairie needing someone to work on that fake tear and feel our pain.
Like, Holmes, is there a rule that they have to be elected, or could we have had Megyn do this?
No, yeah, I mean, there is no rule. I mean, look, the whole process is fairly antiquated, right? I mean, it's it's designed to try to mitigate risk, but it actually creates more risk because
how many careers can we take out?
I mean, just as you said, it's like the media landscape has changed entirely, and yet we still kind of go back to that same thing. I remember once back, I think this was 2010 or 2011, we decided to roll the dice. Remember Bob McDonnell, the governor of Virginia, who had just been elected in Virginia in a off-year election, and we had him do it in the Virginia House of Delegates with the crowd, and it kind of looked a little bit like the State of the Union. And I felt like that was one of our best things because we were way outside of the box. But to my knowledge, that's literally the only time that's ever happened. And
I think you're right. There's no upside to doing it. I bet that's why a lot of folks, I mean, if they were approached, if I would be approached, I'd say, heck no. Yeah. Like, what's the upside here? Everyone's waiting for me to bomb.
But you would do it if you were an elected official. Like, I think Byron Donalds would have been a great choice because I've talked to him many times. He's very fast on his feet and he's very familiar with the issues. And I really think part of the problem, the only reason you need to set it up with that sort of architecture with, a second fake crowd of your own is if you're trying to make your thing like the State of the Union thing. You have to do it just completely counter program. Don't even try any of that. Just go do something lame like me with the books in the background here in Montana. It's not my real studio. Do something it's not about trying to impress you. It's just me. It's just me, not me, because I don't want to do this, and I'm not even a Republican.
So I
just
guess
somebody like me in front of a camera saying like the stuff I just said, like talk to people real and make it real time. So it actually is a response. It's a response, but they're not nimble enough. They're not quick on their feet. They're afraid. They're scared to be in front of camera. So ideally, you'd get somebody who comes on TV a lot or had a TV program who, radio people like Sean Hannity. He's always been amazing. You need somebody who can speak extemporaneously about the issues in a compelling, quick way. Financial experts thought we were in the clear. They were anticipating around 6 rate cuts by the Fed this year. And then the inflation data came out. Did you see the latest? Higher than expected. This is obviously not going away. How can it? The U.S. is $34 trillion in the hole. Oh. And yet we just keep on printing money, which pushes the prices you pay every day even higher. So you can either bury your head in the sand or you can do something about it. One option to consider is to diversify a portion of your savings into gold with Birch Gold Group. Gold can be your hedge against inflation, you see, and Birch Gold makes it easy to own. They will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold, and you don't pay a penny out of pocket. Text Megyn, M-E-G-Y-N, to 989898 and get your free info kit on gold. And then speak with a precious metals specialist about how you can choose to protect your savings from persistent inflation with gold. Text Megyn to 989898 now. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.